Welcome back to Critterland. Well, today I have something very different. So I get a lot of comments and questions about ordering sets from Amazon Japan. So I thought I'd put together a little video about how I order sets from Japan to the United States, what it's like to pay the exchange rate, because these are priced in Japanese yen, what the shipping process is like, how quickly they arrive, and all of that, and how to kind of navigate their website, and some tips and best practices to save money and find the really cool stuff. And this is for anyone, not just critter collectors, anyone who wants to buy anything from Amazon Japan. And I'm doing this now because the exchange rate is incredibly good right now. In the last few months, it's gone down by about 25% Japanese yen to US dollars. So it's a really great time to try it out. So let's dive right in. You just search for Amazon Japan. Click Shop in English, comes right up. The translations are a little iffy, but they're good enough, I think. It should locate your country based on your IP address, and then if you don't have an account, you need to create one. Your Amazon USA account will not carry over. This is a completely separate account that you need to create, but you can use your same email and password and all that to keep it simple between the two accounts. That's what I do. You just search for Sylvanian Families or for whatever it is you're wanting, remint or all the cool, amazing stuff they have in Japan. And you'll see the selection is super cool. Nothing like, it's just different than what we have in the US. Lots of different sets, but a lot of the same sets too. So it's a lot of fun to punch around and see what they have available. So once you've found something you like, you just stick it in the cart, just like with Amazon USA. So I'll put a few items in the cart so I can walk you through the checkout process. So for this set with a low exchange rate, it's only about $13, whereas a few months ago it would have been about $17. So that's the savings I'm talking about with the low exchange rate. So let me show you the Amazon Japan Sylvanian Family store. Just like in the US, they have a little Calico Critters quote-unquote store. You can go to the Sylvanian Families one here. I will say they hardly ever update this. The same products have been listed here for about maybe a year or two. So the newer, cooler, more recent editions, you'll need to look on the main site and just do a search. But if you're not familiar with Amazon Japan, then this will all be new to you and a ton of fun to look through. But be aware some of the items are cheaper in the United States, so you have to keep your eyes open for that. But they have really cool, unique things like individual critters. This is an expensive example of one, but they have newer, less expensive ones that you can just buy as individuals, like as a replacement, for example. Of course, you'll want to place an order large enough to justify doing that, and I'll talk more about that here in a minute. So you can browse through their categories. They have some cool different furniture sets. This one in particular is a great deal. It's about $16 before shipping with the exchange rate, and it's got two little critters, super cute. So you'll find lots of little treasures like that browsing around. And another really cool thing are these tiny little clothing sets. They're really small and very cheap, like $2 to $3 a piece before shipping, and they add very little weight to the package. So if you're placing an order, it's a great idea to add a few of these, and they're very inexpensive and super cute. You can get these on eBay too, but there are a lot more there. So that was the Epoch store page, but I will say that a lot of the newer stuff will not be on that store page. You have to search in the search bar and just browse and look through, and you'll see other sets that wouldn't be listed there. Also, they try to do these combo deals where they combine two sets together. I have found that is never a better deal. It's always the price of the individual items added together. So there is no benefit to doing a bundle, pro tip. And then finally, I wanted to touch on buildings before we do the checkout. I never buy buildings, as tempting as it is, from Amazon Japan because the shipping is astronomical. It makes it not worth it. It's better to pay slightly inflated prices on eBay if you're so inclined than to buy a building. So the shipping to the US starts at 2,400 yen, which is about $18 currently. That used to be more, or less if you're on the West Coast. but then each individual item has its own shipping, but the more you get, it starts to reduce by weight. So I don't do buildings. Oh, and then definitely if you're going to buy something on Amazon Japan for your critters, these lights are an incredible deal. They end up being like under $6 with proportionate shipping per each. So great deal. All right, so let's check out. I'll show you how that works and what the cost is like. So you sign in with the account that you created, or create an account. You'll have to provide your address and all of that, just like with regular Amazon. And then this is what it will look like. And you'll see for a small order of 2 items, the shipping doesn't really make it worth it. So if you notice, the total order is $50, which you might think is good, $25 per set total with shipping. But the shipping can be proportionately reduced, like it'll go down per item the more that you add to the cart. So let's look at a larger order. You see that we now have 13 items instead of 2, and our shipping only doubled. It didn't go up, 8 times. It went up, it just doubled. So you get a lot more value when you do one larger order instead of buying, 3 or 4 orders throughout the year. Maybe just do one order of everything you think you'll want, or hold out and wait and place your order later when you can get more. But right now the exchange rate is 0.007, and that's with the Amazon Global spread, where the actual exchange rate is like 0.0068 Japanese yen to US dollar. That is incredibly good. Just a few months ago, the exchange rate was 0.0093. That's 25% less than it was a few months ago, and the prices in Japanese yen have not gone up. They do fluctuate a little bit, but they haven't gone up substantially, and for some sets, they've gone down a little bit. So it's a great time if you have ever considered an Amazon Japan order. I would highly recommend it. You can get some really cool sets. But like I said, be sure to place a large order. Avoid the combo deals unless you really want both sets, but there's no purpose in that. And I've never had an issue with getting fees on a credit card for doing an international purchase. And the shipping is pretty fast. I've not had an order take more than maybe 8 days, and sometimes it's come even faster. Except one time, in the middle of the pandemic, it did take about 2 weeks, but that was highly unusual. So you can find some really good deals. You'll also find some not so great deals, so you do have to dig. I mean, that's really overpriced for a garden set, but they do have really cute stuff. Well, I hope this was helpful for you, and I would love to hear about your experience using Amazon Japan. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.